the duck tour, so we do ask that you please remain seated during the land portion of our tour, and please keep all hands, arms, and elbows inside the vessel. The tour does come at you in 3D from time to time, and these friendly palm trees have been known to like to reach out and touch somebody, so make sure you're looking out for those. Now, the real question, folks, is, are you ready to sing? If I was close enough, 3 hours, sure. They told you 90 minutes, didn't they? Not here in sunny South Florida. If not for the courage of the fearless crew, the minnow would be lost. Hopefully Lewis doesn't get us lost today. Uncharted desert isle with Gilligan. He's there, skipper too. And his wife, the movie star. There she is, Professor and Marianne, here on Gilligan's Isle. Yeah, you guys know that one. And as you've probably noticed, this is not your typical tour, but an interactive tour and a theatrical presentation of the city of Fort Lauderdale. Oh, what's that, little one? What's your role on this interactive tour? I'm glad you asked. We are on a duck tour, so you will be asked to do a little quacking today. This is how it goes. I give you a duck tour's 1, 2, 3, and you give me a duck tour's quack, quack, quack. Up ahead on our left, my favorite people to quack at, the ballet at the Courtyard Marriott. Let's show them what you got. 1, 2, 3, quack, quack, quack. We brighten their day, folks. Your second role is, of course, to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Off to your right, the landmark swimming pool, the International Swimming Hall of Fame, where Olympic gold medalist and the most famous actor to ever play Tarzan practiced and performed. What was his name, sir? Johnny Weissmuller. Well done, well done. You guys are earning points towards your induction into the Quacking Hall of Fame. Oh, don't worry, you can earn some points too. Just answer some questions and I'll give some points to you too. Right now, off to our right, the Bahia Marina, where we also have a pirate ship parked out there. Yes, on any given day, we have $1 billion worth of yachts parked out there. That's a lot of yachts. And during Fort Lauderdale's International Boat Show at the end of October, we had $3 billion worth of yachts for sale out there. Yet, places like this give us the nickname Yachting Capital of the World. Now, this location is not just one of the many of our nicknames. It is also one of the many locations of the city's namesake. Yes, the original Fort Lauderdale was located where the Bahia Marina stands today. It was named after Major Lauderdale, who, along with a couple hundred of the Tennessee volunteers, came on down to suppress the Second Seminole Insurrection. They named the fort after him and subsequently the city. Oh, momentarily, right now, off to your left, you see a very unusual sight, of course, indicative of us being the yachting capital of the world. It is the Sheraton Yankee Clipper Hotel, which is shaped like a clipper ship. But where does the name Yankee come in? Well, the guy that built this place back in the 1950s, George Gill Jr., was best friends with a New Yorker. And him too, yes. He persuaded the owner of the New York Yankees to bring the Yankees down here for spring training, which he did from 1962 to 1995. Most notable, that ball player with that very famous girlfriend, what was his name? Well done, Joe DiMaggio. And the name of that beautiful blonde girlfriend? Marilyn Monroe. Well done, you guys are doing great on the duck tour today. Now, momentarily off in the distance to your right, a very, very unusual sight. Yes, you'll see a hotel tower with what looks like a UFO on top of it. You see it off there in the distance? Yeah, don't worry folks, that's no UFO. That's the Hyatt Regency Pier 66 Pier Top Lounge. Yes? Michael Herrick was the architect? Aaron? Oh, that's very interesting. Aaron? A-R-A-K. Wow. And I'm about to talk about some of the architecture. Yeah. Michael Herrick was the architect for this, one of the architects for this building. You'll see the Hyatt Regency Pier 66 Lounge has 66 spires coming off of it, and the six-sided building has 66-degree balconies. Yes, the American oil tycoon responsible for this building. Do you guys know who I'm talking about? Yeah, no? Was obsessed with the number 66. It was, of course, Mr. Phillips 66. Yes, Phillips Oil. Yeah. Legend has it that he was testing out his motor oil along Route 66 in Oklahoma. 6 seconds. In that case, that thing might actually take off. But it is, in fact, 66 minutes. Yeah, here's a little trivia question. Does anybody know how old Mr. Phillips was when he died? That's a good guess, but it's a trick question. He was, in fact, 72. However, that is 66 plus 6. Little noodle scratcher for you there. Oh, do you folks hear that? There we go. Oh, it's the Love Boat. Off to your left, the Port Everglades, the deepest port in Florida, and the busiest cruise ship port in the world. Yes, we hold the world record for the busiest cruise ship, having served 15 cruise ships in a single day. We also hold the world record for the most passengers to pass through the port in a single day, 62,000. Can anyone guess whose record we broke? Miami, you're close. That's a trick question. Bahamas, that's close too. It was our own. Yes, we also Seafood Diner's Delight is coming up on your right. It boasts Caribbean-style steaks and seafood, as well as a beautiful water view. Of course, I'm referring to the Bimini Boatyard. Yes, delicious Caribbean-style steaks and seafood right there. But that's not the only dining hotspot I'll be pointing to. As we are in the district famous for the city's best seafood. Yes, it's always fun to bump into some yachties around here. Momentarily, I'll tell you how to spot them, but first, let's wake up the folks at Starbucks. 1, 2, 3, quack, quack, quack! Well done, folks, well done. As we take a little shortcut to avoid some traffic on Cordova there, you guys are going to get a sneak peek of some of our marine industry. And while you're looking at that, can I ask if you know, how do you spot a yachty? Well, 2 ways, folks. First, you might notice they're wearing boat shoes, but second would, of course, be their sea legs. Yes, they're notorious for partying when they get off the boat, and if you notice someone with a special swagger, they might be a yachty. Momentarily, you'll see some more examples of our fishing boat storage location, and our second seafood exhibition. Yes, Kelly's Landing, New England style seafood, and the best clam chowder in the city. Also, delicious lobster tail and specials on Tuesdays. Next up, on your right, a local seafood delight and my personal favorite, the Southport Raw Bar. Boasting cheap eats, drinks, and really very good seafood. You can get about a dozen raw oysters on the half shell for about $12. And you know what they say about oysters. They're delicious. Now, I know you guys are probably wondering why they call that port over there Port Everglades and not. which are all located in Broward County. Today, Broward boasts a population of 1.8 million people. Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. But can you guys guess how many people lived here a little over 100 years ago? You're very close. Let me give you a hint. Your tour guide, Daphne, is number 1. Well done. Yes, a little over 100 years ago, we boasted a grand total population of 1 registered landowner. Yep, his name was John Brown. Yeah, that's the only man in town, Mr. John Brown. But they didn't call him John, no, not even Johnny, because he was a pig farmer, and our historians aren't very nice or creative. They called him Piggy Brown. Nobody's going to ask me where was Miss Piggy, because that's the setup for my Muppets joke. She was chasing Kermit. No? No Muppets jokes? You don't think it's funny? No, you don't want it? So now I know you guys are probably wondering, how did the metropolis that we are today with 1.8 million people in Broward County from that one word? One, it's first comes, first serve right there, and the other up here by me. But honestly, folks, silliest emergency exits ever. If you have a problem on the duck boat, just grab your life jacket, hop on overboard. Now,
you can eat that?
I'll remind you guys that this is, of course, a duck boat, so if you don't quack, we don't float. Are you guys ready?
Quack,
1,
quack,
2,
quack,
3, quack, quack, quack! Oh, well done, everyone. Looks like all our pelican friends are queued up at that fish. But let me point out to you, in the distance to your right, a view of the Southport Raw Bar. Another reason why that's one of my favorite seafood hotspots. You have a beautiful view of the 15th Street Canal. Now off to your right, the Pilot House. I know you guys are probably all wondering, why is Pilot written on the side of that boat? Well, let me tell you, folks. These intrepid pilots meet those big cruise ships 2 miles out at sea. They climb a rope ladder and guide them safely into Port Everglades. Yes, they know Port Everglades inside and out, and are probably the most overqualified valet. Well, now we have an opportunity to say hello to our Marine Police Station. Let's give a duck boat hello to some of those Marine police officers. 1, 2, 3, quack, quack, quack! Great to see you today, and thank you for serving and protecting us on these inland waterways. Yes, they make sure Captain Joe isn't speeding. Speaking of Captain Joe, we here at Duck Tours Fort Lauderdale think it is very important that you know we only employ the most qualified, the most dignified, the most charismatic, the most eloquent, the most push-up Ahoy! Good to see you today. Oh, our first big boat, that's Cheers 46. It's been there for a while, probably because it has a 10,000-gallon gas tank. Wow. Imagine taking that thing to the pump. Captain is signaling that we are entering the intercoastal waterway. And as we do, on your right, you'll have a water level view. Yeah, that's a mega yacht. Oh, it's delicious. It's voted #1, 15th Street Fisheries. Oh, wonderful. Do you go in the evening and see them feed the fish? That's like one of the best times. Oh, it's delicious. Yeah. Yeah, on your left, the fish there every year. Excellent.
What time do they feed the fishes?
They feed the fish around sunset, and they'll feed them the leftover bread from the... Yes, not only do we boast beautiful views of mega yachts and delicious seafood.
Captain Kirk?
Oh, you're close.
Leonard Nimoy.
Well done, Mr. Leonard Nimoy. Yes, if you knock on that door over there, he would have told you to. Live long and prosper. famous Spock in the original Star Trek. There we go. And right across from where Leonard Nimoy lived with Susan Bay, cousin to a very famous director that also lived along the Intercoastal Waterway.
Miami Vice.
Miami Vice. Very nice, very nice. Yes, it was a TV show about vice cops in Miami chasing down villains because of their vices. Yeah, the Don. This building was featured in the 2006 version of Miami Vice starring Colin Farrell. Yeah, I'm a Colin Farrell fan, but I know he doesn't hold a flame to the Mojito Man himself. The Don in his dapper white sports coat. Now let me direct your view off to the right. This house in white, I wouldn't call it simple or plain, but maybe a little more demure on the decor. This house once belonged to a celebrity couple that you might be familiar with. Also indicative of colonial architecture. Not actually a house, that's the garage. Yeah, not only does that garage accommodate 6 cars, but it's flat on top to accommodate a helicopter landing pad. It also boasts accommodations of 2 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom apartments. And yes, I'm still talking about the garage. The Florida White House boasts accommodations of 11 bedrooms and 10 bathrooms. And I know you guys are all wondering how that came to be along the shores of our Intercoastal Waterway. Well, let me tell you, it's a very interesting story. Very interesting story. About an invention and a lawsuit. Well, that invention, folks, is of course, and this blew my mind the first time I heard it, the intermittent windshield wiper switch. Yeah, exactly. What makes your windshield wipers go from consistent to intermittent? Yeah, such a simple idea, but it is what is responsible for our Florida White House. Yes, Ford Motor Company. Water taxi. Hello, hello. Yes, Dave Thomas was an area entrepreneur, and he lived 40 miles to our Northern Bay colony. Hello, hello. But later on in his life, wanted to live closer to his daughter, Lindy. So he built a house right here along our Intercoastal Waterway, and I'll be more than happy to show it to you today. It's not the one on the corner that today belongs to a plastic surgeon and once belonged to Cheryl T. Hello! Good to see you today on the Intercoastal Waterway out of Quebec, Canada. They've come a long way. Oh, and a pack of wave runners. Look at them go. So slow in this no-wake zone. Have fun out there. Discoloration in the water between those markers. It is, of course, a sandbar. That sandbar formed by the sediment deposited by the New River waterway. And it is the many contributaries of the Intercoastal Waterway depositing sediment that gives it its unique ecology and made it pivotal during World War II. Yes, during World War II, there was a German invention said to be lurking just off the shore, waiting to sink any ships that might be transporting. Excellent, excellent. We got the nod of approval from the Pelicans. Yes, yes, we did. Well done, folks. Well done. Now, as we are back on land, go ahead and find your seats. And as you do so, the Bermuda Triangle. Yes, sir. Now, it is the place of many a maritime mystery. And here in Fort Lauderdale, we have our own Bermuda Triangle story. Yes, there used to be a naval base here in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, you want some green?
Where 5 planes took off. Now I know you're confused.